This time around, we have your Season 3 finals. Remember, this is a double elimination tournament, best of 7s. For each series, here's the map breakdown. Hardpoint Drift, Solar Search and Destroy, Detroit Uplink, Retreat Hardpoint, Biolab S&D, Comeback Uplink, and the Detroit S&D. That was a mouthful, Chance.
I was about to say, that just takes forever to say, but I mean, kicking this tournament off with a DLC map, which is huge, setting the stage for these two teams. Who is going to be the most prepared coming into this relatively new map? Of course, Rise and TK. It honestly could be a toss-up. It's anyone's game.
And I mean, we've seen Drift, right, since COD Champs. Different game modes, granted, but coming into this one, got the chance to talk to players on either of these squads. Apathy has said they've been practicing the DLC maps a lot. He's feeling confident in the Rise Nation squad, but then always, you got to talk to Neslo about he's feeling, and, well, he's boosted himself up yet again. He said he's going to drop 50 on this map. We'll see if he can do it. We're on board with him off the start.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? Because even him going into DC said, not that much confident in the squad, a little bit under practice. So if TK is going to be warm, and obviously they performed incredibly well at DC, they might just come out swinging. But again, TK and Rise, I think they're right next to each other in terms of seed for the Pro League. So it's going to be coming out swinging. But you can see Rise right off the bat, all 4 down in their favor, taking the early lead.
Well, we'll get this game sound on for you guys right away. But right now, Apathy alive inside the hard point, already 2-0 at the start of this game. Something we see quite often from these players is that AR inside this first hill. You can turn around, watch your low side, pick up any players trying to flank you from bottom security. Here's Burns doing it yet again. The AR has gotten much more popular on this map. Right now, it's entirely taking up the kill.
Yeah, Burns on a 4, making a 5 streak as well. Might even be able to spot Sharp over in the distance. He's going to have players challenging, but of course, only a few seconds left on this hill as well. But of course, Rise again, 34-1 lead in their favor. TK going to be fighting for that scrap time, but again, you can see that rotation is already coming in. Rise already in complete control. Chino already doing some damage.
That's a big kill from Chino, right? Because he wins the spawn fight for his team. Now they're going to spawn topside. He's got his teammates flooding from bottom office. We'll see how long Chino can stay alive. The challenge coming in. He just destroyed Neslo on that snow street. Another player coming in. Oh, man, it's all falling apart for TK off the start of this one. A 50-second lead for Rise Nation.
Yeah, finally Neslo cleaning up that kill on his second life, but nonetheless, Rise has been in absolute complete control. Burns still, we've seen, how many times have we been on board with him so far in this game where he's just sitting prone inside a hill and is able to win the gunfights, and even when he falls, of course, Chino and Wheats are going to be right there. Complete control right now from Rise, a huge start pretty much out of all of them, and of course, the slowest one, Chino, we saw what he was able to do earlier.
You hit the nail on the head, Chance. Burns last one alive, staying alive inside the hard point, bought enough time for his team to continue to hold it down. Wheats picks up the 2-piece. He's 10-2 to start this game. We've seen him perform very well back then at UMG DC. This weekend, starting it off hot, to say the least. 80-second lead already, and we're just 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and of course, TK finally they're on the rotation battle, but then you see that's 3 down in Rise's favor. Of course, Burns got a team kill, but it's not going to matter. Reed's coming off the cutoff, able to clean up that 4th player, so even when TK is out rotating their opponent, they're just getting slayed out of the hill. This is just destruction so far. The only player that's negative is Chino, and he's been a bit of the anchor for his squad. Everyone else playing phenomenally. Wheats is 11-3.
Apathy just picked up a 3-piece that honestly he should not have won with the AR at that close a range. They continue to build their lead. Another break coming out of Wheats. Right now, Chance, it just seems like the trades are continually going in Rise Nation's favor.
Yeah, without a doubt. Outside a bit of a scrap time, TK has struggled to get any sort of field control at all. Of course, that's going to be the case for them right now. You see Neslo sitting inside, but look at the kill feed. Nothing but blue. Neslo's going to have to pick up a 2-piece right here, and of course, he is going to get pinched out as soon as that position gets revealed. So again, as soon as TK gets control, you can see Rise took their time, set up around inside the hill, got the kills, and then moved in for that scrap. And of course, now a 70-point lead going into the 4th hill.
And right there, Neslo alive inside the hard point. Picks up the kill on Chino. Sorry, that was Sharp inside the hard point who wound up dying, but early control of this office hard point going over, or station hard point going over to the boys of TK. We'll see if they can mount this comeback. They're down by 60.
Yeah, and you see they have a really nice setup right here. Nameless getting complete control over down this A-bomb site street. And of course, he's going to have a gunfight over to his left, trying to turn on that player. Going to be successful. Meanwhile, though, Wheats was able to pick up 2, but of course, Neslo getting the cut-off kills. But of course, Rise starting to work themselves inside, but Neslo doing the damage inside, and Nameless going to be there in the final few seconds. So still, TK done a phenomenal job on this hill. We saw an 80-point lead earlier on. Now they're cutting it all the way down to 40.
90 at one point, now down to just about 50 seconds. TK not out of this one at all. When Sharp is able to pick up kills like that, TK will definitely mount this comeback. The flank coming in from Apathy, he's able to even it back out. But as we head into the final hill of this first rotation, it's 3 players of TK already in a position to contest, but Rise Nation flooding in from all sides. Oh man, these next few gunfights are going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, that's going to be costly. You see Sharp was able to pick up 2 just because Burns ran out of ammo. But of course, Rise going for that early rotation, but they did not get the kills. And we saw last time around TK, despite the slow start, when they got that early control, locked it down for a substantial amount of time. They're looking to do the exact same thing here. You see all of Rise flooding in from one singular side. Apathy able to pick up a kill inside the hill, but of course, those all getting traded. And there you see TK able to make that first defensive stand.
You can see right now, it looks like the goal of Rise is to just out-muscle their opponents in gun battles. Not working so far. Nades coming in from Weeds. He's able to pick up the entry kill on the hill. Neslin trying to stay alive. He falls. One final player remaining is Nameless. He dies to the foot of Apathy. So now it's going to be another scrap push for either of these teams. From middle map is going to be TK. From the snow street is Rise Nation.
Yeah, and you see Rise eventually got the good spawn, so they're going to get that scrap time, but it's only the final 15 seconds, and you can see TK already in preparation over for that glass hill after the first set of rotations. So it started out as a complete blowout. TK making it a fight. They're getting all the way back into this, and of course, all 4 players on their team are negative, and they're only down by 30.
Yeah, really 10 kills in favor of Rise Nation at the moment. For TK to be this close into the game, you got to be pretty happy with that if you're a TK fan, right, Chance? I mean, they're down by 90 seconds. Now only 20 seconds separating these 2 teams. If TK can continue to swing the momentum in their favor, they'll have the lead in their side.
Yeah, without a doubt, and they're doing a fantastic job in the hill so far. Theory's just been chilling out. Of course, he is going to get taken down. Burns able to pick up 3, trying to get himself in, but of course that 4th going to be in the hill. It looks like Chino was going to be in there in support, so that is going to be a successful break from Rise. And of course, you got to keep in mind who's going to get those spawns for that next hill. You can see TK is playing very, very passively, not trying to flood into this hill. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and give up all that scrap time to Rise, just making sure that they keep the good spawns before the next hill.
Is that something you agree with there, Chance, or do you want to see him try to play a little bit more scrappy?
With how, slow they were playing at first, I don't agree with going, Sharp's in the hill for the final 3 seconds, and look, now you see Rise is able to come in, even though it's only 1 player. So I like the idea to get the spawns, but maybe, play a little bit slower trying to get in that hill. But obviously, it's benefiting them working out, only down by 24. Nameless now going to be the last one in the hill for his team, and yeah, perfect break from Rise.
There's that example of it, right? They gave up the last 20 seconds of that hard point. They had 3 players sit near security and trying to lock down the spawns. One smart, coordinated push from Rise Nation breaks it completely as Weak is somehow staying alive. Finally, Nameless takes him down. But that's an example of the movement in AW. There, if you get that set up in Black Ops 2, it takes him at least 20 seconds to break it. Almost an instant break from Rise Nation. What was only a 10-second lead is back up to close to 40 seconds here with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and of course we saw last time around, Rise did a very good job on this hill. It looks like TK correcting their mistakes from the first time around. They're winning gunfights against Chino earlier on, so they don't get turned on. Also, Chino, another team kill right there. I think that's like the 4th or 5th one that we've seen out of Rise in just this game. And TK is definitely trying to benefit from this, of course. Now, going over into this earlier office hill, TK, this is where they first started to get any sort of control of the hill at all. They're going to be fighting from the offense now.
That's a great challenge from Weeds. Looking over that top middle of the map, is able to clear off that window for Burns inside the hard point. Burns now just waiting patiently, continues to get callouts from his teammates. A great beginning hold of these first 20 seconds from Rise Nation. They're now back up by about 50. The challenge coming in from TK. 2 players do fall. Got 2 more to take out. It looks like they're going to do just that. Rise doing a fantastic job of not letting the comeback happen.
Yeah, and Rise, although there's already, 27 seconds left on this hill, if I was them, I would already be thinking about this next rotation. This next hill is where TK was able to make the huge comeback and got nearly 60 uncontested seconds. So Rise cannot let that happen again. You see they're spawning at the bottom of the map, 14 seconds left. If I was them, I would just ignore the hill and make sure they can get control of next, because they do not want TK to punish them any further, because they could definitely make this comeback.
Well, Sharp is going to be the first on the rotation for Team Caliber. Spots Burns, able to take him down. A second challenge coming in, that's Apathy, his old teammate, getting the better of him there. 44 seconds between these 2 squads. TK cannot afford to go into that top avalanche hardpoint, being down by, well, 35 plus seconds.
Yeah, but you see, again, they have a complete setup. Rise from the top of the hill. All 4 players going to be there. We saw earlier they were trying to flood in. We're not successful. Going to see if they go for a pinch, and you see 2 players going on the flank, 2 pushing in from the bottom. Perfect pinch out of them. They got to win the kills. Apathy is able to get 1. Weeds picks up a second. Nesla, though, able to pick up 2 speed. You can see Rise able to break through and hold on to their lead, but just by 30 seconds.
Apathy doing everything he can to stay alive. Now inside Ticket Booth, challenging from all different areas. Theory takes him out, but when you live for that long and you create that much of a nuisance for the enemy team, that lets your teammates do whatever they want to the opposing players. That time around, it was Wheats and Burns getting the better of them. A 50-second lead. It's almost out of reach for TK in this game number 1.
Yeah, that break on that hill was probably going to be the difference maker between these two teams. And of course, Rise already going to try and make sure they lock down those good bottom spawns for the next hill. Of course, Theory in the hill, they can still make the comeback. Plenty of time to do it, but again, they're going to have to win every single gunfight. They've done it before.
Plenty's a choice word. There's not much time. They basically have 8 seconds to work with here, Chance. They need to play this one flawlessly. The nades coming in yet again, and really that should do it. Game number 1 going over to Rise Nation. And Chance, if you're on TK right now, if you're Neslo, who said he was going to drop the likes of 40-plus kills in this game, and only dropped 23 and 31, what are you saying to your team going into this game 2 search and destroy?
Hey man, first map, you got to get those jitters out of the way. Let's turn around for the second one, just wash it, forget it, and move on from it. You know, they only lost by, 40 points at the end, right around that margin. Maybe they get the last 10 and get 30. But considering the horrible start that they had, going down by 90 points right off the bat, and at least coming back and making this a fight, I don't think they're going to be too worried about it. Of course, best of 7s, throwing away the first map, not nearly as big of a deal as it could have been in the past.
From the first hard point to the end, it was Rise Nation through and through. There's a look at these two squads. Here's your final kill cam from Apathy. He finished in top score for his team, but you got to give a shout out to Wheats. 39 and 31, 4 captures, 5 defends, leading the game in that category. If he can stay consistent this weekend for Rise Nation, you've got to expect him to go pretty darn far.
Yeah, without a doubt. And of course, Apathy Burns on top with 35 and 27 each, respectively. Rise, the 2 players that were performing slow for them at DC was Burns and Apathy. So if they can turn around, Rise is going to be in great shape. And of course, TK, they're going to have players turn around too. I think it was Sharp in Theory that, again, not necessarily doing poorly, but they're the players that are going to need to pick it up for their squad. Neslo has been playing fantastic, but someone's going to have to step up to the plate.
Game number 1 goes over to Rise Nation. Reminder, the winner of this series has to play Optic Gaming later on tonight. Guys, do not go anywhere. When we come back, Solar Search and Destroy.
back-to-back Season 3 finals. Let's get it. Season 3 playoffs, whatever this is going down. Rise going against TK. Rise looked pretty good, I would say, in the hard point. Obviously, TK made a little bit of a comeback, but nonetheless, 40-point lead to kick off the entire tournament for them. Maybe looking good going into Solar S&D.
Solar S&D up next. Will we see Theory bring out the Moors? He was electric with it all weekend long, which is one of my favorite sayings, apparently, from what I heard of. I asked for some critiques. What people like to see me improve? One of them was just to stop saying all weekend long in every other sentence. I'll do my best not to, but at the start of this S&D, it looks like it's going to be an all-out B rush for Rise Nation. Yeah,
Rise trying to continue that momentum they got from the hard point, but Neslo going to be the first one to shut it down, and Burns just going to be left out to dry. He gets picked. Already a 4-2 man advantage for TK, looking pretty good, and of course Sharp able to get that cleanup kill. Chino is going to be able to pick up one, but that's just going to be Neslo saying, hey, here he is, everyone go kill him, and TK making that first defensive stand.
A perfect blind counter from Team Caliber. They had all 4 players on that B side of the map. The first kill that went in favor of TK was by the hands of Sharp, I believe, in bottom science. Was it Neslo? Neslo, okay. So it was Neslo. That kill right in the bottom of the energy building completely changes the round, because if that's first blood for Rise, they'll begin to either push through and take over Garage and flank all the way around to A, or they'll just pick up first blood, then they can get the bomb down with ease. That time around, though, TK got the better of them. Now up 1-0 in this S&D.
And of course, now you see they're going to be slow playing this B bomb site. Sharp getting some shots down, but of course he nearly gets traded, just trying to stay alive. That's the important thing. Obviously, first blood is going to be huge, but if you get that first blood, you got to make sure that you can stay alive as well, or you're still just going to have more or less a 3v3. Now, though, the rotation came into A, and it looks like we're seeing another good counter on the defensive side. Rise having 3 players to rotate over. Of course, Chino's the player on board with Burns, though, going to be in that game battle spot, just waiting to hear anything out coming over to that A bomb site.
A game? Is that what it's been coined, the game battle spot, as he challenges site and loses the gun battle to Neslo. Number advantage in favor of TK yet again. That's 2 straight first bloods.
Yeah, Sharp, though, able to get that kill with the bomb, so you see it is going to give them the advantage, 3-2. Of course, it looks like he might just be going on that full rotation over towards B, but you can see Chino able to pick up kill. Going to make it a 2v2. Neslo, though, going to get the trade, and of course, Sharp still working over towards that B bomb site. Wheats looks like he's headed towards A.
I went on Twitter after that game, number one. A lot of pro players were saying, Sharp carried TK in that first game. Unfortunately, they weren't able to take it out. Neslo wins this round 2 yet again. Sharp and Neslo combining for all 8 of their team's kills. Up 2-0 now in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and those also 2 rounds we saw that were basically perfect trades coming out of Neslo. As soon as his teammate dies, waste absolutely no time, is immediately jumping in to get that kill. Obviously, that is the most important part of Search and Destroy, I would say, making sure you can get those trades. So, of course, TK doing that effectively in the first round. They had a perfect round. They're looking pretty strong.
Yeah, and something to point out is you cannot afford to hesitate in Advanced Warfare with how fast the movement is. There, if Neslo waits maybe a half a second, the opposing player can easily dart towards bottom middle, play his life, and then the round continues. This time around, though, Apathy, with the help of Burns, is going to pick up first blood. Rise now beginning to show some life.
Yeah, a lot of aggression from the defensive side from TK. Of course, now Weed's going to get kind of caught in the mid-map. Actually going to shoot his teammate a little bit. Burns, though, able to get a kill from the side, and Apathy going to get a cleanup as well. So after they got that first blood, everything just kind of cascaded in their favor. Theory going to have to get the 1v4, and of course, he's got a pistol in hand. He can maybe do it, but it is not going to be easy. Able to get that first, jumping out the challenge, going to get shot in the side. Too many players surrounding that bomb site from Rise.
You could see just how strong stun grenades are. From Wheats. He was right below that S2 area, gets shot in the back, just spins and instinctively shoots out a stun, which completely shuts down the vision and gunshots of Neslo, in which he gets easily cleaned up. Rise Nation now on the board. They're down 2-1.
Got to be taking notes from those boys in blue. Of course, Rise trying to make a little bit of a comeback as well. Someone from TK kind of needs to step up here. Nameless. They really just haven't had much to do, frankly, with the way Neslo and Sharp have been tearing it up. But of course, now you can see they're taking the bomb to B once again, and they are pushing aggressively through. Apathy, though, gonna get that first blood.
And there's that first blood in favor of Rise. That's completely shut down the aggression from TK. Sharp wasn't even near planting that bomb. Now in the 1-on-3, they've got him trapped underneath the map. You're gonna see who's this pushing top catwalk. A beautiful play from Wheats. If he can just hit his shots, yeah, that's exactly how you play that one, right? You know he's underground. You have someone watch that top door if he tries to push out towards pipes. There, you watch over that pool side. Wheats immediately challenges, and there's an example. If he hesitates, Sharp gets away through bottom glass cuts. gets towards that A bomb site and lives to try to still clutch the round.
Also, the 2 rounds that TK won, they were playing pretty passively. You know, the first round, Neslo kind of hanging back in that bottom orange building, gets the first blood, and they don't rush out. Then we saw that last round, they just, went charging straight into the bomb site and just got picked off one by one. And of course, the round before that, even on defense, they were getting aggressive by the B bomb site. This time, though, Theory able to get that first blood. TK just needs to slow it down and make sure that they get all of the trades from here on in.
This is what we saw at UMGDC with Theory. Obviously, TK winning so many game 5s there. Weeds trying to put some shots down on Theory to get him out of that power position top S3. The challenge is coming down on B Street. It's a 4-on-3 in the number advantage. Burns and Squad trying to even it back out.
Looks like they're rotating over to A, but of course Nameless was going to be the player from TK that was waiting for it. He picks up that kill, and that just makes it all the more tough for Rise to deal with. And you see Theory up top just confident with that sniper, even though he's going to accept the fact that he's one shot. He's calling out the information to his team, and of course he just needs the split second to get those kills. Of course, a 2v4 situation. Afty going to throw out some stuns, but he gets stunned as well. Sharp able to pick up that kill. Burns last alive in a 1v4. Able to pick up 2. Makes it interesting. Going to get swarmed from the side as well. Trying to clean up this last kill. No way Burns is able to clutch this, and finally that player comes in from the back and shuts him down. But Burns at least making it interesting.
Yeah, Burns doing all he can left in that 1-on-4. How disgusting, though, was that he almost was able to clutch up the first 3 kills. If he killed that player on the bomb site, you never know. Theory's only got a PDW pistol. If Burns kind of jukes him out and double jumps right outside that back energy door, he might be able to catch him off guard and pick up that 1v4. That would have been absolutely nuts. But you mentioned earlier on in that round, Theory top S3. He's able to pick up a couple kills so far this game with the Moors. We'll see if he can continue it here in round number 6.
Yeah, and you see right now just trying to get some information. Gonna spot Chino up top. Both players just going to exchange that information. But of course, DK going back to that passive role, which has worked out for them in the past. Rise, of course, going to have to turn something around. They're just looking to get that first blood and trade kills from that.
Neslo pushing through middle map, gets the top catwalk, and then immediately just runs back to where he first started, realizing, no, it's not worth me sacrificing my life here. 4v4 in the numbers game in round number 6. 3-2 round advantage for TK. The push coming from Neslo. Stun hit on Weeds. Great communication there. The trade coming in. That's Apathy trying to stay alive. He ducks into bottom fans. 2 players run around him. Chino hits the headshot. Nameless still staying alive. 2v2. Burns and Apathy against Nameless and Theory.
And of course, Burns and Apathy, the duo in the hard point. Both of them finished off 35 and 27. They're trying to make it work in S&D as well. Theory, though, able to spot one player bottom orange. He knows Apathy's going to be there, trying to go for the shot, knows he's down there, and at least can feed this information to his teammate. But of course, they're going to have to make moves. 22 seconds. They don't quite have the bomb in hand, but they're going to be forced to go to B.
You can see the challenge coming out of Apathy. That's going to put the numbers in favor of Rise. He picks up the 2-piece to close out the round. It's all knotted up yet again at 3-3.
Yeah, without a doubt, and you see Chino was able to pick up one that round. We might kind of have that sniper battle back and forth going against Theory versus Chino sort of thing. But again, Burns and Apathy, the duo, both sitting at 6 and 3. Sharp and Neslo, fantastic starts the first 2 rounds. They had 4 kills apiece. Haven't done too much since then, and of course we have a tie game.
8 kills in the first 2 rounds out of Sharp and Neslo. Since then, combined total of 3. It reflects in the score as it's all knotted up at 3-3. I'm going to hop on board with Burns leading his team in score at the moment. He's leading this push down the B Street in more of a passive play from Rise Nation at the moment, avoiding those nades. You got to like the play call from them.
Yeah, and you see as soon as Burns gets rid of all of his nades in that situation, Chino, by the way, getting the hit marker on Theory. That's the battle we tried to talk about earlier. But of course, now you can see Rise has rotated the bomb over to A. Wheat's able to get that kill on Theory as well. Of course, Theory only had that sniper rifle in hand. You can see TK going for the rotation over there quickly, but Rise has complete control. Wheat's just waiting for that kill. Nameless, of course, being forced to rotate around. Going to be a 4v2. Sharp's going to get called out. He's going to get put out, but Apathy not going to be able to win the gunfight. Neslo picks up one as well. What was a 4 versus 2 very quickly is turned around to even odds.
Sharp should spot Chino here. Now it's going to be a 1-on-2. Burns last alive. We saw him almost clutch the 1v4. He's been spotted in bottom purple. Somehow sneaks over towards top glass cuts. Wins the gun battle versus Neslo. Burns versus Sharp in the 1-on-1. Both players leading their team in score. Going to be up to TK to defuse this bomb. The challenge coming in. Burns picks up the kill. He wins the 1-on-2. Burns off, dominating in this search and destroy game right now. Continuing to lead his team. They're now up 4-3.
And, you got to give props to him for that 1v2 clutch, but Rise nearly threw that away.
Yeah.
They had the 4v2 with the bomb down, and somehow TK was almost able to clutch up. So, of course, Burns having to do work at the very end, but that was definitely a shaky round to say the least. But nonetheless, they do have the edge, and, of course, they do have that first map win as well. So Rise, best of 7, they want to, put it away as quickly as possible to avoid, draining themselves from how much Call of Duty they're going to have to be playing.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Chance. You got to remember, best of 7. If you are just tuning in, Game 1 went over to Rise Nation. If they take this S&D, they'll obviously be up 2-0, but they'll still need to win 2 more games to take home the series. Chance, what's going on in this round? Break it down for me.
Well, TK just, off the bat, 4-man rush to A, got that first blood. You can see Rise rotated over to try and get control, and TK said, we're gone. We're not wasting any time. Now they have complete control of the B bomb site. Of course, Weeds trying to break back in, able to get 1 kill to make it a 3v3, so Rise going to be making moves, but of course now it's going to be TK that can just, like you say, hey, we're going to sit here, try and get this bomb down, and you have to come to us. Of course, it is going to be even odds at a 2v2, and Weeds actually going to let them come to him. Neslo able to get that trade. He's done so the entire game so far, and of course, that's going to leave us in a 1v1 situation. Neslo going against Apathy.
Neslo does not have the bomb. I don't know if Apathy has full knowledge of that. He's already going to push towards bottom purple. He did hear him. Apathy should be able to pick up this kill with ease. Shots coming in. There it is. Brian Zelyaskov. I think that's how his last name's pronounced. Wins that round. Rise Nation now 1 round away from going up 2-0 in this best of 7 series.
I'm sorry, you said Brian Zelyaskov. Is that his name?
I think that's it. We need to get confirmation from him.
We can definitely ask him
if we get the chance to ask him after the series. We'll correct that on stream for you all. But really, so far, TK, Nameless has really been a non-factor in this series at the moment. 2-7 right now. Theory also struggled in game number 1 at one point. I believe it was almost triple negative in that hard point. This game, only 3-6. You got to see both those players step it up for TK.
Yeah, and now you see Rise. They've been playing passively over by B. They're doing the same thing again, but there is no one from TK that is over there. So Rise could easily go and get this bomb down, but they are just wasting too much time. And TK now working mid-map, working the flanks. They're going to have Rise necessarily pinched in. Of course, Weeds trying to watch that flank down Glass Street, and Sharp going to be causing problems. Rise just allowing TK to get everywhere on the map.
Sharp versus Weeds. Weeds gets the upper hand. First blood going over to Rise. Burns gets the second as well, consistently winning his one-on-one engagements. And that's a big reason why Rise Nation is up 5-3. Oh, and they are just 1 kill away from going up 2-0. Last alive is going to be Theory. Oh, and all he's got is Amores. That's going to do it. Team Caliber falling yet again to the Rise Nation boys. Burns, I got to talk to him prior to this game. He said he's going off. He was yelling, pumping his chest. It's paid off so far, dropping that 9-4, and well, who's right there with him? Apathy, finishing on a 4 streak to end that game.
Yeah, and what did we see in that last round? TK, they had a situation where they had literally almost the entire map under control, and despite that, they could have just stopped and said, okay, we have everything down, we can just wait for things to happen. They were playing aggressively once again, and we saw earlier on, pretty much the entire game, they're playing aggressive, and it's just not working out for them. Nameless, I think he finished off with 2 kills. They're just not winning their gunfights.
Yeah, there it is. They're not winning their gunfights. There, Sharp pushes P1, spots Wheats. Wheats wins the gunfight. Burns gets challenged on B Street. Burns wins the gunfight. Instead of that being a 4-on-2, it's now a 2-on-4. TK putting themselves at a disadvantage yet again, and they lose that one 6-3. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have game number 3, Detroit Uplink. The coverage of the MLG Pro League Season 3 championships continue between TK and Rise Nation. How did I just say that name? Rise Nation. So far, it's been all Rise in this first series, up 2-0, heading into Detroit Uplink. And Chance, going into this game, we saw really the slaying power a little bit in favor of Rise in that game number 1, especially at the start. What's the key to victory here in game number 3 for TK to be able to mount the comeback in this series?
TK, they're just going to have to play together as a squad. The first 2 maps we've seen, like last time, Nameless only got 2 kills. Theory struggling with it as well. The first time in the hard point, again, players with slow starts. They're going to need all 4 players to perform. Obviously, this is like the pinnacle of Call of Duty. These are the top 12 pro teams in the world, you could say. Of course, maybe an EU team here and there. But nonetheless, this is not a situation where you have any one player on your team lacking. TK needs to pull together.
Well, both squads sitting with that 2 sub, 2 AR setup. Off the start, it's Wheats sitting in closet. He locks down School and already full School control. Going over to Rise Nation if they can win this one gunfight against Nameless, which they do exactly that. There is the dunk. They haven't stopped the momentum. In the first 25 seconds, they're already up 2-0.
Yeah, and it looks like Theory is going to be trying to hunt down that one remaining player from Rise still in this base. Potentially that player is going to be causing problems later on, but TK might have an opportunity where they can just run away with this drone, but of course, that player from Rise has rotated back, and it's just that fight for control. After, though, that player that was causing problems was able to pick up 1, then TK does get the next 2, make it a 3rd. Chino, the last one there, able to pick up 1 kill, going to have the drone carrier right next to him, and of course, we talked about how powerful those stuns can be. Stuns the drone carrier, falls 2 seconds later.
But that right there, it is all Chino in stopping that score from going in. He picks up 1 kill, stuns the drone carrier, stays alive long enough where instead of TK flooding through middle map, they then have to try to win the gunfight versus him. It buys enough time for his teammates to spawn up. They win some gunfights middle street, and just like that, Rise continue to hold TK scoreless through our first minute and a half.
Yeah, and of course, TK technically is working from that bad side, so they're just going to need to try and keep the score as close as possible, but that means they're going to have to be putting the pressure on Rise the whole time. They're doing just that right now. You see Neslo already in the base. Theory trying to work himself over to it, but Neslo going to be at least, putting on that pressure. Theory going to try and jump this one in, and you can see Neslo picked up 2. Nameless was short order behind him, and Theory gets that first dunk.
Chance, you said as the game started, TK need to play as a team, and right there is a perfect example of that one. Sharp on a 6 streak. He started this one 0-3. Now double positive. Well, apparently that's the key to victory for TK. Sharp just needs to never die.
Yeah, without a doubt. Play together as a
it's
team,
not
but
that
if you
hard,
have
right?
a flawless player, that's obviously going to benefit as well. Of course, as long as they're not just being a kill whore and trying to play the objectives. Of course, Sharp was right behind, helping Theory get that dunk in. But of course, now Rise trying to go back for this control. You see Burns already pushed all the way into School, is able to pick up 2. As a player coming aside, his teammate's going to call him out, and he gets that cleanup kill as well. Still continuing to put on the pressure of TK, trying to go for a 4th. Does get shut down, but nonetheless, Chino has this all the way in School. But you can see there is no one there for help. He's just going to have to, put the movement on. But of course, that's not going to work against 4 professional TK players, and he does get shut down.
Yeah, Chino just spinning around that pillar right outside of School stairs, not able to stay alive. The gun battles seem to be going in favor of TK, but who is it last alive again? It's Burns. He's trying to buy enough time for his team. There it is, though. As Theory clears out the middle map, the drone will reset. After our first 2 minutes and 45 seconds of play, the game is all knotted up at 2-2.
Yeah, and once again, Rise going to be trying to make moves. Abby, though, more or less by himself, trying to push up past players. That player might have been juked out going to the left, and Abby gets intercepted. That player coming from underneath, gets the pick, gets the reset, and Apathy even gets shut down in the base. That was some ninja moves right there. That player coming from underneath, that was nice.
Theory really, I think, positioned himself in the wrong way. He went towards that School window and then bounced back towards the drone. He basically just double jumped for it and said, I'm going to try to pick it off. You could see kind of outthinking Apathy there, who thought, I'll just go for the 1-point toss. A great route from Rise Nation, though, as Apathy read it and saw that pit wasn't clear. Someone was chasing behind him, so as he was about to jump over that jump wall, he rotated towards middle street.
No.
There he gets taken down yet again. Rise doing all they can to score. The pre-fire coming in from Theory. Will he save points again? He does. That's a 3-point swing that Theory has stopped Rise from getting. Definitely something that could impact the outcome of this game.
Yeah, still TK on the defensive. They're going to have to stop another 1-point throw, and it looks like Chino was able to convert to give them a 1-point lead. There you said, a 3 points that got saved. Theory was able to get that clutch defensive stop and the freaking reset, doing a fantastic job just to make it close. And again, they're working from the bad side. A 1-point game, that could be an easy win for TK going in the second side as long as they continue to keep up the pressure. So maybe look at Nameless to pick up a few more kills and help his team out. But again, they've just been in full control.
Not only Did Theory stop Rise from scoring 3 straight points? He's leading his team at score at the moment and has the only 2 points on the board for them. An MVP-like performance so far from Dylan. But with 30 seconds remaining, TK going to do all they can to control the school. Wheats with that bow, continuing to win gunfights time and time again. He's 14-9 at the start of game number 3.
Yeah, and it almost seems like TK is always doing a good job on the defensive stand. Of course,
Chino
is somehow picking up kills by himself. Looks like he might even be able to get in a dunk towards the very end as well. That last defensive stop does not come in. Chino able to put
No, and he even kills Sharp. Chino, what did you just do? He juked 2 players in fire. Nameless last alive with the drone. He goes in for the toss. Doesn't connect with that one. What a play from Chino. So we saw, right? 2 possessions where Rise should have basically automatically scored, but Theory made hero plays and stopped the points from going in. There, Chino pushes in towards School, picks up the beatdown in School window.
2 beatdowns.
Immediately knows the player's coming behind him, doesn't hesitate, pre-hits that side wall, hits the beatdown again, and then runs it in for the dunk. Rise up 5-2, but they're now on the bad side. We'll see if that lead is enough to hold off TK.
That, of course, is the question. Of course, TK, they've been kind of on the defensive the entire time, more or less. They're going to have to get control on this first side, and it looks like they're going to be going for kind of that sneaky play right off the bat.
Oh, this is
Chunk
a setup
that
play.
drone in from yards, and TK trying to go around. You see Theory's going to be there just trying to outrun. Chino able to pick up 2. He gets the 3rd as well on Theory. Actually, that was the 2nd. Burns was there for some help, but nonetheless, they were able to stop that first play, of course. That's a bit of a well-known strategy off the break, so, of course, Rise doing a very good job to shut that down.
They flood 2 to middle map. They flood 2 through green. They have the players going towards green. They have 1 with hardwired, 1 without. Then they have 2 players with hardwired rush middle map. Chino doing all he can to stay alive. The play from TK not working due to the 3-piece of Chino, but just as we say that, TK has regained control of the drone in the hands of Nameless.
Yeah, and you see the player pushed up in front was already able to force the spawn of Rise over into green, but Appy able to get that beat down on Nameless with the drone. You see he's running to the back of the map, was going to get the reset, but then all of his teammates were able to get the kills. Now they're going to be pushing up through Hotel, potentially able to get a 1-point toss off, and of course, again, Burns on the flank, at least going to be a problem in the back of TK's minds, but they won the gunfights up front, able to shut that down, and you can see Burns having to rotate all the way over to green, able to get 1. The drone carrier now is going to be completely by himself. Burns is trying to hunt him down.
Burns continuing to lock down middle map for a squad 20-13. What a massive series he's had so far to kick off the MLG Pro League Season 3 championship coverage. The drone in the hands of Apathy. He goes for the toss, missing it wide left. Another missed point opportunity for Rise Nation. That's now 4 so far in this game. Theory wins the gun battle versus Wheats. TK needs to begin to lock down School to get these points rolling in their favor.
Yeah, and you can see they've already started to push up into it, but they're going to have to win the gunfights on the drone as well. You see Burns off is going to be there. Neslo, though, able to pick up 2. Going to try and keep control of that to pass it up to his teammates, but by that time, Wheat's able to pick up 2 of his own. Apathy eventually is able to shut Neslo down. And again, it is just going to be Rise that is in control of this drone. Sharp only able to get 1, and it looks like Wheat's by himself. He's 1 shot. Could go for, just the toss out, but it looks like he's going to be wrapping this back. Maybe just wasting time or waiting for his teammates to clear something out, but of course, hitting that 15-second reset, and that is all that Rise needs to do.
I'm telling you, man, if this is how Wheats plays all weekend long, then Rise is going to have an opportunity to really take down the big Titans that you expect to win this weekend. You see the likes of Optic coming up next. If Rise can win the series, Wheats needs to play like this when facing the likes of Formal, obviously in those games, and Karma, who's been running the AR a lot more for Optic Gaming now. Back to this game, though. Burns with the drone. This should be an easy score for him. Rise Nation now up 7-2. So far on the preferred side, TK hasn't been able to make anything happen. And look, they're losing in the slaying department yet again.
Yeah, and of course now they're going to be trying to make something together on offense. They're pushing up, have a little bit of School control, but Rise has 3 players stacked on defense. Theory might just be able to jump this one in, but again, the 3 players stacked on defense were able to cause enough problems, and not even getting that reset, they got enough down that they're just going to be making moves, and you can see Sharp is able to pick up 2. Weed says, okay, I'll happily just waste more time.
And the big setup right there, right? They have 1 player at the back white pickup truck, 1 sitting in Locker's hallway, and 1 sitting at the back trailer. With that 3-man setup, they can cover any part of the map they need to. Is it window? Well, guess what? The back white truck and the player on the top trailer will kill the player in window. If he pushes through School hallway, the white truck and the player inside Lockers will easily take them down. If they flood from green, you've got the player in all 3 of those positions that can easily pick up the gunfight win. More challenges coming in yet again. The drone is reset. Rise still able to hold on to their base.
In that play right there, Theory and Sharp were underneath the portal waiting for that pass to come in. Nameless throws it over to him, and it goes off the map for a reset. They weren't able to stop it in time, and that just is going to waste more time. They're down by 5, 3-possession game, and only 65 seconds left, and you can even see Rise right now in complete control of that drone. Apathy, he just has to get another 15-second reset, and they're going to be good to go up with a 3-0 lead. And of course, that is exactly what he's going to do.
That's really going to do it, and he somehow stays alive, almost hits the beatdown on Fury, but Rise Nation really just outclassing their opponents at the moment as a team. They should have had more points than this too. If you think of the 2 hero plays from Fury and that 1-point missed opportunity from Apathy, this game could have easily been 11-2 right now, if not more, from what we saw earlier on. TK really just not able to make much happen. The one time they scored was when they literally played it perfectly as a team, right? Remember that one when they ran it down middle street? They had Neslo in the opposing team's base. Fury ran the drone. Nameless was covering with an AR right behind the drone carrier. Throughout the rest of it, though, really just a quiet game from TK. Chino and Wheats, the monster AR players for Rise, have shown up in games 1, 2, and 3. And it reflects in the score as they are now 1 game away from closing out the series versus TK in a 4-0 sweep.
And, you know, you got to think back to one of the first things we talked about for Rise. The 2 players that needed to step up to the plate were Burns and Apathy. They did not have the best of performances at DC. But you can see, you know, despite this one at the bottom of the scoreboard, you know, breaking even, going positive by 1, doesn't seem like that's an outstanding performance, but that is solid. That is what they need to do, and they played phenomenally in both the S&D and the hard points. So, of course, that's the difference maker for Rise, and still TK has not really had a game where they all, you know, play well collectively as a team. So we saw DC, the pretty much storyline for them was they went to game 5 for almost everything it seemed. They're going to be trying to go to game number 7, but they got to win 4 in a row. And again, they're having problems 3-0ing teams. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this to Rise.
I just have a smile on my face right now because game 4 is going to be retreat hardpoint, one of my favorite game types in all of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. You thought the ARs of Rise have had some opportunities on these last few maps? Well, guess what? Retreat hardpoint, you can't really ask for a better map for your ARs to dominate in. We'll see if Wheats and Chino can continue to just dismantle TK in this series. Do not go anywhere. Retreat hardpoint is up next.
Welcome back. Season 3 playoffs. I'm Chance. This is Jack, also known as A. Courage. What? We got faces right now? You got to fix whatever you got to fix. Do it for America, of course. You were in D.C. rocking that flag the whole time. And, of course, we saw at D.C. TK was playing pretty well. You know, they came out hot, were able to beat Denial. This time, though, Rise is up 3-0 in the series. It's a best of 7, by the way. A little bit difference maker here, but Rise is taking full advantage. This is brutal.
If this is your normal tournament, they've already won the series.
Yes.
But TK has a chance to stay alive. You mentioned during the break on the bracket show you were the only person to predict Rise to win this series. Remember, if you are just tuning in, the winner of this series plays Optic Gaming in their match later on tonight. as you mentioned, do you even want to win? Do you even want to win this series to face them? I don't know. But all that matters is Rise has come out hot out of the gates. Game 4, one of my favorites, retreat hardpoint coming up. Does TK have any chance of taking this map in your eyes, Chance?
Nameless is one of the players that it seemed like has been playing slow for TK so far. Only got 2 kills in the S&D. Didn't really make much of a difference in the hardpoint. It didn't seem. I don't remember talking about him at all. So of course, if he's playing slow on kind of a battle-heavy map, there's nothing that I think he's going to be able to do to shut down Weeds and Chino. So if Nameless can turn around, TK is going to be in great shape.
I have something big to talk about.
He's the player to watch.
Sorry to cut you off, but this is big. TK always struggles off the break of this map, and it's because they play a 2-2 setup. 2 ARs, 2 SMGs. Right now, 3 ARs out for the boys of Rise Nation. We'll see if this comes back to haunt TK. Off the start, Cheney already in the power position, top dub. Kills going in favor of TK off the start. This is really one of the best breaks I've seen so far out of TK on retreat hardpoint in Season 3.
Yeah, and then what happens, they get 4 points, and you can see Rise already able to break through.
It's the AR advantage,
yeah,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. Even with a good start, you see after he was able to pick up 2, he's pulled out the battle as well. Burns is going to be the only one rocking that ASM-1, and they are just destroying. That is a 4 down right away. Now, it's interesting. The first hardpoint map that we saw so far in this series, Rise got off to an incredible start, a 90-point lead, and TK began the fight back. So if TK can even just turn that around a little bit, they're going to be in good shape. But Apti is 5-0, and Chino also on a 3 streak.
You can see already a 22-4 lead, finally the 2-piece coming out of Theory. But it seems like whenever they get 1 AR down, there's still 2 more firing from range. They have Apathy play an aggressive AR role. He continues to hop in the hard point. Hill number 1 was all Rise, just like that first hard point. And what was that kill on Theory? All the hip fire shots working in his favor. He now challenges the hard point. Apathy is a man on a mission at the moment.
I hope that player was weak from that hip fire, but Apathy is just continuing the destruction. Someone needs to check his Xbox. He's going to be on a second 5 streak at 10-1 right now, and he's going to be hunting those players down the back. He's going to turn actually at the worst possible time, but he is in a sneaky spot. Sees the player up top, make it 11-1 on a 6 streak. Going to another player, gets the hip fire. He is 12-1 on a 7 streak. He cannot be stopped at the moment. It doesn't seem, of course, as I say that. The player comes from the side,
Apathy,
and he just destroys them, trying to finally go for that last player. Sharp stepped up for the squad and shut him down, but not before. It is a destructive lead, 60 points to 14.
I was talking to Sharp prior to this tournament, and he said Apathy is due for an event where he goes absolutely off. I just heard Burns yell, "Oh my God," at the top of his lungs. He's now on a 5 streak. Chance, what have we just witnessed in the first 2 minutes of Retreat Hardpoint?
We witnessed Apathy going on a 5 streak, then a 7 streak. So when he kills, he just comes back stronger. Of course, slowed down a little bit. He's only 14-4 now, so maybe that's going to give TK a little bit of a breathing room. But of course, again, it is an incredibly good start coming out of Rise on Hardpoint. Chino, by the way, has 12 total engagements, now make it 13. Apathy has 17 kills.
Apathy, 17-5 after the first 2.5 minutes. And this is something to point out. A lot of times, teams will have one of their AR players switch to a sub on this hill and run 3 subs. Rise keeping 3 ARs out. They locked TK at that back cave spawn for 30 seconds on this hard point. They're already up by a full minute, and they're still winning gunfights inside the hill. Finally, Apathy switching over to a sub. He's still making the kills happen. Right now, positive 12 by himself. All 4 players showing up here for Rise Nation in this game 4.
Yeah, without a doubt. I was even going to say, Apathy slowed down. He started off with like a 15 KD or something insane. Now he's only triple positive, but the rest of Rise was able to step up and do their jobs. They now have triple the lead of TK. TK with that early control of this bar hill, but then we see 3 down in Rise's favor immediately, and they regain control.
And something I want to point out is, we're not being biased here, right? We're not like, oh my God, Rise now. But so far, Rise has been dominating all series long. The start of this game, everyone picking up kills for Rise. Sharp doing what he can for this team, 14-16, 4 captures. He was really the one to show up in game 1 for TK. Right now, though, it's the Rise Nation show, if I'm being honest with you, Chance.
Yeah, without a doubt, 3-0 lead in the series. Weeds is able to pick up 2, so anytime TK even sets foot in the hill, they get naded out, they get stunned out, and they just get completely outslayed. The kill still going in Rise's favor. Nameless able to pick up a kill with the stun, but then Burns gets 2. Sharp tries to work himself in the hill, but someone's going to be there to trade from Rise at all times.
You mentioned that. So many nades coming in, always working in Rise's favor. Theory, the only one using Trophy. Would you like to see him throw that on maybe 2 or 3 of their players?
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of changes that they're going to have to make to try and get back into this. They're down by 80 points. Theory able to pick up 3, and of course, they're trying to lock down that attic kill. But even when they get 3 down, there was a solid 10 seconds right there where no one was even in the hill. They're trying to get those cutoff kills. So we saw earlier, they got an early rotation on a hill on Drift, and they locked it down for a near full 60. So TK certainly capable of making this comeback, but still, they're going to have to win their gunfights, and that is just not something they have done at all this series.
I mean, you can see how that play developed, right? And they're sharp using the heads-up play. You shoot that plant, it's very easy to get on top of you. Your character just walks onto it. So once you get on that plant, you can double jump right into the window, doing just that. But you can see how it developed, right? They got 4 dead. Instead of Rise Nation panicking and trying to flood bottom lobby, they had 1 player push through towels, 2 push through bottom lobby, and 1 flank the back stairs. Burns got the entry kill from back stairs, and they just collapsed on top of TK. It's now a 100-second lead for Rise Nation. They're about to take down TK 4-0 in this series to open up the MLG Pro League Season 3 Championship.
And this is just devastating for TK as well. Like, what kind of confidence can you even take away from this? What do you have looking forward, like, going into the rest of this tournament? Because this is just bad, without a doubt. But then Rise, on the flip side, we said 2 players needed to step up. That is without a doubt the case. Apathy double positive. Burns is, relatively right behind him at 22 and 16. But you said it before, if Rise can bring it to the table, if all 4 players perform, they're going to be looking good to, at least make it interesting when they play out the game.
Positive 25 out of the boys on Rise right now in the slaying department. I want to quickly take a look. You have Sharp running the sub, Theory running the sub as well, still doing the 2-2 setup. Apathy now with that submachine gun in hand. They've decided, you know what? Let's have him stick with that sub. No reason to have 3 ARs. It continues to pay off. But when you have Chino and Wheats basically winning every engagement they get in, you've got to be happy if you're a fan of Rise Nation.
Yeah, and I mean, we've kind of seen Neslo turning around a little bit. 22 and 23, definitely doing the best on his team, at least in terms of KD. But even then, if he picks up a 2-piece, no one else on his team is going to be there to win any gunfights. And of course, now Rise is out rotating them. They're winning all their gunfights. They are just looking phenomenally, able to maintain that 100-point lead. And of course, with complete control, Wheats just hanging out. His teammates able to get 3. Of course, it is 2 down. TK trying to get a Nameless showing up, but nonetheless, Chino is going to be right there to clean up. Even if it's scrappy, it's just going to go in favor of Rise. TK, they have their work cut out for them.
And you can see even there, the break comes in, but Nameless has to make a hero play and pick up a 2-piece that he really shouldn't have gotten. Theory trying to stay alive inside the hard point. He takes down Apathy. 1 final challenge coming in from Wheats. Well, he dies to the hands of Sharp. This scrap time looking like it should go in TK's favor. They're definitely going to need it, though, as we head into our final 3 minutes. They're still down by 95 seconds.
Of course, Chino also just picked up 3 to shut down that scrap time. TK pretty much desperate at this point to get any sort of points that they can on the board, and Chino, of course, shutting that one down. Now, though, going over to the rotation, TK, they have a bit of a setup. They have 3 players over nearby. Of course, Burns was the only one from Rise that was over there to try and cause problems towards the end, so TK does have control of this lobby hill early on, but they got to stop Apathy leading the charge for Rise.
I'll be honest with you right now, Burns' play style on this map reminds me so much of Jerd, where he's playing hyper-aggressive. It's not recklessness because it's paying off. He's already got 30 kills in this game. Really the lone sub so far in this game. Yes, Apathy switched to it after the first few hard points, but Burns, it's not like he's just sitting inside the hard point. All he's doing is continually pushing the opponents, even with the AR there, pushing all the way past that back rock. It's paying off for the boys of Rise Nation. You can see TK with 3 players inside the hard point. Even that entry kill going in favor of Apathy. They should be able to lock down this last little bit of time. No, as Burns just destroys Nameless. Everything going wrong for TK. A heartbreaking first series for Team Caliber.
Well, it's not quite mathematically impossible. Just under 120 seconds left, and it's only a 100-point game. So TK might be able to make this 4-game comeback, or they're just going to get completely destroyed, and Rise is going to have all the momentum. But basically going to have to go ahead and say congratulations to Rise. They earned this victory without a doubt. Again, all 4 players for their team performing. All 4 players right now positive. And again, Chino, we said earlier on, he only had like 13 engagements, and after he had 17 kills, sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard, but he did his job.
I'm going to tell you right now, man, TK, I've made some of the best friendships with these guys of any of the pro players. I want to see them succeed, right? I'd love to see them perform well, but this was a disappointing first series. I know coming into this weekend, they wanted to prove that they are a team that can hang with by far the best. This first series, though, was nothing in their favor. Sharp, yes, picking up a 3-piece. He's on a 4 streak. He did show up in the hard points, but really just a quiet series, especially from the likes of Nameless and Neslo.
Yeah, and TK coming in, they had nothing but game 5s last time. I was expecting a pretty close series. Like, yes, I picked Rise to
Everyone
win.
thought this was going to go game 7.
Yeah, and a lot of people even picked TK to win. Like, it's not like it was close by any means, and there was a lot of legitimacy behind that. But Rise just coming out swinging. And again, TK just didn't perform, so it's going to be interesting to see how well they bounce back. Of course, this is a veteran roster. All these players have been around for longer than anybody else I know in the community. So, of course, seemingly they'd be capable, but they got to play Call of Duty better.
From what you just saw there, as I mentioned at the start, TK running 2 ARs, 2 subs. Every time I've watched them start down a retreat hardpoint, they lose the break. Do you want to see them begin to adjust something like that, or do they just try to keep making that try to work?
I mean, again, it's not necessarily an issue of trophy system or the breaks. They're just not winning their gunfights. There's a lot they have to change. So maybe they need to gather and kind of work on the little things or strategize individually to whatever team they're playing. But I feel like they do all of that. I feel like maybe it takes them a minute to adjust, but they do that. They're just not doing anything like in game. They just can't seemingly handle the pace of Rise. Rise just completely outclassing him in every single game mode. Even the S&D was a 6-3 finish, and that's when TK went up 2 maps to none. It's insane.
When TK went up 2 rounds? Yeah, exactly. No, it's all good. There's your final kill cam from, well, the man that dominated all game long, 43 and 33, 10 captures and 5 defense, leading his team in every single category that game, especially in that score category. You got to give a shout out to Rise Nation, positive 30 in the slaying department on that retreat hardpoint. They led it from that first hill all the way to the end. It was the same thing on Drift as well. A frustrating series for Team Caliber.
Yeah, just a booming start for Rise.
Wow.
What a way to kick off Season 3 playoffs as well. We were talking about being the best competition in Call of Duty, and that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. That was just
if you're being honest, that's
what I'm saying. Like, how many bloodthirsties did Apathy just pick up? Like, he's gonna look through his medals and take a picture.
Was
and be
it 14 and 1 to start the game?
That's what I'm saying. It was insane. And the crazier thing, Burns somehow got more kills than him in the end. Apathy monster start, played well the entire time. Burns apparently consistent the whole way through, leading the lobby in terms of slaying. Ridiculous stuff coming out of Rise the entire time. TK gonna have to gather themselves, but whatever. Series 1 in the books.
Game 1 went to Rise. The rest of them went to Rise as well. The first series of this weekend, Rise the Nation wins it. They're going to move on to face Optic Gaming in Winners Round 2. Optic Gaming, obviously, that #1 seed heading into the weekend. If Rise plays like that in their series versus Optic, do you think they can take that upset?
They can definitely take maps off of them, right? You got to imagine, obviously, it depends on the maps, of course, but if they play like that, they can make it interesting. I think 99% of the community is going to pick Optic Gaming to win, but after seeing that, I can at least, make an argument for Rise. Yeah, definitely a lot of variables going into this, and of course, Rise, have been showing a little bit of life, but even the last tournament where they did not play well, it was because they had 2 players that were kind of lacking, and if those are 2 players, again, Burns and Apathy have been monsters in Advanced Warfare, at times, they can make it interesting.
Not only did Rise get to just play that series, they won it in dominating fashion.
Yes.
Optic Gaming going to go into it, haven't played a series yet this weekend.
Very
and
true.
think of the Optic of the past. Fridays and Optic Gaming.
Very true.
They aren't friends. Guys, do not go anywhere. When we come back, your second matchup of the night. Stay tuned.